I'm so honored to be here and to be asked again to do one of these wonderful little shows about art and creating. And thank you, Sherry. Thank you very much for asking me back. As I have said before on our last show, that I was exploring the idea of the language of the flowers. And we were doing that with, or I was doing that with color. How red speaks, how a blue speaks, how we can incorporate and layer colors to actually improve our vocabulary with our tools of color. And I've actually had the privilege to work with my fellow artists here in a workshop that I led, where we went through a year of exploring each color of red, orange, blue, green, etc., etc. And we learned an enormous amount of how to create our own palettes. And we had a lot of fun. And today I brought my fellow artists here to also share that in the joy of learning and having had the courage to take this journey with me. I applaud them. And yeah, so let me just introduce you. This is Ginny and Diane and Wendy and Shannon. And we'll start with Ginny, and you can say how long, and when we first met, we met at the BBG, right? Mm-hmm. And you came to my class, and you were a biologist, and you had never done artwork before. Am I correct in saying that? Mm-hmm. And very courageous. And she came in, but you did have drawing skills because you were a biologist and you did some drawing, so we didn't have to worry about that. But we learned that the idea of using color, and tell me a little bit about your experience of when you first came and you were learning this.
Yeah, I think what you mentioned about being a biologist, I told you many times that a lot of it's about speed, quick sketches, getting it down on paper when you're looking under the microscope or looking at a sample. So I think one of the things that I had to work on the most with Anna was to slow down and to see what could be there that's beyond the exact replica of the image. So adding colors that to my scientific mind weren't there, but could really add to the image. Put some purple here, put some pink there. And that required me to break out of the mold that I was in for so many years and the training that I had, and be more creative and slow down. So those two things together, I think I learned a lot about composition, I learned a lot about colors, and definitely volume. That's still one of my challenges, is to create volume.
And how color helps you with that, right? When you mentioned, to add the purple, to shade something, to make a grisaille and everything like that, yes.
And then we also branched into silver point.
Yes,
which went right along with the drawing, because you draw first with silver, which we all loved. We enjoyed that. That was kind of an extension of our projects.
Yes, and we used color with that too, but with the silver point, which goes along with sort of why I'm here today, is the idea of, okay, so we spent a year exploring color and having color help us connect with our floral specimen and to create a floral portrait that was not just a scientific replica, but it was something where a conversation existed. And this is very important in art because it's a reflective. It's reflective in the sense of we're sharing our souls, and we're creating that moment. And what always comes to my mind is Rory McEwen when I think about this, which is this wonderful man who was a musician, and then he became an artist, but later a botanical artist, in fact. But he later found out he had a brain tumor. And what he would do is he would pick up a leaf from wherever he was, and he would really create this portrait. And, for years I kept saying, well, that was really nice, that he did this. But not until I recently saw his exhibit, which was in Boston, I think last year or so, and I realized, well, this is actually how these leaves were all fading, and how they were transitioning, and how he was having this conversation with these delicate pieces of, material that wasn't going to be here for very long, right? Just like we are, right? So I thought, wow, how powerful is that when you, and it's just interesting. So now, in search of this idea of how we can express ourselves more and uniquely and simply by knowing the colors we use, our palettes, creating our own unique voice. And this year we're on to substrates, which, believe it or not, they say a lot. And now what I want to do is go to Diane and...
Yes.
Yeah. And maybe you can help me out a little bit where, I think we first talked about... Wait, I need to go back a little bit because Diane and I began...
We have history.
We have great history together.
We were babies.
We were babies. We began our artistic journey together.
Yes.
And with a wonderful woman named Carol Morley who taught at the BBG.
Yep.
And that was a wonderful class, wasn't it? It was so wonderful.
It was.
Yeah.
She's an extraordinary artist as well, and inspiring. And the bar was very high, but she was a teacher. And so much of botanicals for her was teaching, and I think she kind of passed the baton to you. In a
way, yes. More taking it to the sort of another level, a different level of, she was scientific.
Yes.
And she actually created the American Society of Botanical Artists. She was one of the founding members. Pretty amazing. Little secret that she kept hidden for a while.
Yeah.
But anyway, so we've had this history, and I've talked to Diane about ideas and how I was in search of how color can really articulate an artist's, dream, or help me out with a word here.
Vision.
Vision, yes. And that was pretty... it set me off on a journey, because Diane was like, yeah, that's a great idea, Anna. I think you should do that. And I was like, but we were meeting at the BBG because I was teaching at the Berkshire Botanical Garden, this beautiful home I love so much.
Yes, we're so fortunate.
We are so fortunate.
Yeah.
And but we weren't meeting often enough. And so Ginny came up with this fabulous idea, and so of getting a place for us to be, and it's almost like our home now, New Concord, the Society of New Concord. And anyway, we set off on this journey for a year. We explored a lot, even during COVID, before this, we were even working online.
Yeah.
Yes. And we really discovered a lot. For Diane in particular, she is somebody very close to my heart because her work is in the betwixt. And I love that. I love the idea of the here and the not here. Her work is so graceful. And so I'm handing it over. And now.
All right, so we spoke about the hair, and I'm the tortoise. I am very slow, and in my work, I mean, each line is, a pause, and I sort of revel in what the line brings to the paper, and so I love the idea that we would take a color and explore the color and how many colors come into play to make that color, lift off the page. I mean, for me, the lift off is, not as high as some other people who are able to go with that pop. But yes, and so we did color, and then we moved on to the papers, the substrate, and how that supported that betwixt and between, that is looking at something that's beautiful and then finding a way for it to land on the page. And yeah, it's all kind of pretty magical. And to have, our friendship and the friendships that sort of evolve with artists that work in a community setting to share their exploration. It's really exciting.
I'm going to say something, I hope you don't mind, but
Oh, God.
When we first started,
Yeah.
Diane rarely finished anything in class.
It's still a problem.
No, it's much better. And in this last class, in the cyanotype, you actually had finished a piece.
Yeah, I guess I did.
And
I still think we should have a special session of unfinished pieces, and we all bring them in.
I'd have nothing to do.
But actually, you've slowed down quite a bit.
I have.
You have, and that's really beautiful.
I learned
because
my lesson.
The other thing that I think is very important, I think, and we've discovered together, is that process really is everything.
Mm-hmm.
And it isn't about finishing a piece, but it's about the journey and what we learn in the journey. And, having a beautiful piece is just, icing on the cake, mm-hmm. basically. And when you do take your time and when you let inspiration come in, and another thing that we do, which I find very helpful, and we have poetry prompts in the beginning of class, and that sort of sets the tone of our class. And I always usually pick it for the color that we're working on. And so now comes to Wendy. Wendy is also a botanical artist. You have your certificate, right? Is that true?
No.
Okay. I thought you did there. But you're also a Carol. Yes, you're also a Carol Morley.
Yes, initially that was my first introduction.
Yes. Okay. And so Wendy is an inspiration. She comes very far for class. Even when we moved from the BBG, she followed us because you live almost in Great Barrington, right?
In Great Barrington.
In Great Barrington.
Yeah.
Okay. And can I say your age? What? Can I say your age?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
82.
82. She's 82 years old. And
Bravo.
Unbelievable.
And
I can't believe it.
And
either.
she's amazing. She is the example of courage and curiosity keep you young, right? So, and she's a wonderful botanical artist. And game. And she came in to our group halfway through the year, right? Not through the whole year.
Right,
Halfway
yeah,
through
right,
the year
right.
in January. A big snowstorm.
She's Canadian.
She's Canadian, yes. And her work is just. This was the first piece that you did.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
So the Lenten roses and hellebore. Yes. Yes. And one of the things that I was able to aid Wendy with was actually form, light and shadow, right? And through colors. And I think you came in on greens. Did you come in on greens?
And,
Yes.
and white.
And white. And so really with these wonderful greens that she has here, I'm just going to lift this up because there's really, when you have green, is a very difficult color. And she was able to really get form and light, which I really loved. And also in her beautiful stems, that was very, very, very lovely. So tell me about your adventures to New Concord.
Well, when I moved to the Berkshires, it was a very big adjustment from New York City. And little did I know I was going to get involved in gardening. And I started with little plants. I had no idea what I was doing, but I just so loved it. And I have now a garden all around my house, just very hard to maintain. But I'd never done any form of art before until I guess I was in my 70s when I started. And during COVID, and then, of course, on Zoom workshops, I really got very involved in wanting to learn how to, I'd see these wonderful prints that I'd always loved and never thought I'd be able to do it. And then I realized I could start somewhere and build on it. So botanical art for me became an extension of gardening. And the other thing, which is so amazing, it's a transformation where you really study and really look at something. You feel a little insane sometimes because you're trying to just really, get that seed just right. It's not just green or white or pink. Everything's got multi-colors in it, which is something that Anna really did teach me. You're trying to actually see under the surface and bring the form to it. And then there's composition, and then there's life that by the time you're done, you're absolutely in love with that plant that's starting to droop and turn brown, and yet you still have 3/4 of the way to go to finish it.
Yes.
So you take a picture, but it's really the joy of painting with a live specimen.
Yeah. And also going with that live specimen is very interesting because as it wilts, it's showing you something.
Yes.
It's giving you something, and then your painting doesn't become just a still life. It's becoming a moment in time. It's becoming. It's
a process,
exactly.
and it's meditative as well. You really could get very, very lost. And the most amazing thing, when I first started, I'm thinking, 4 hours. I'll never, because I'm a very active person. And the time just flies by. Yeah. And, at 4 o'clock, you got there at 9:30.
Yeah.
And I just love every aspect of it. And you've helped me so much. And it's
Thank
wonderful.
You, Wendy.
Yeah.
Thank
yeah.
you.
Well, Every teacher's
you're a
got something
joy.
special. And that's the other thing.
Yeah.
The class, working with other women or the occasional man who does botanical art, it's just such a wonderful camaraderie that forms. And you can share the joy of it and you can share the grief of it. Like, oh my God, I just splashed my coffee all over this. But it's a many different components that make it wonderful for me.
I love that. Thank
I
you
love
so
it.
much.
Thank you.
Such a joy. Okay, so now that brings us to Shannon, and I met Shannon while I was I doing a botanical? Was I doing a botanical? But I was accompanying my husband to what are they called? Gilmore.
It's called the Firelight event, but it's a Gilmore Girls themed festival.
It's a Gilmore Girls themed festival, and my husband played Max Medina, and it was the first one I went to, and I think you were knitting. When I first really saw you, you were knitting with the basket. You had like a little Red Riding Hood basket, and I was so enchanted. I was like, oh, she does a little Red Riding Hood basket. I love this. And so we started chatting at the restaurant, and I told you what I did, and you told me a little bit about how you followed the Gilmore Girls, and your daughters really, and you watched the Gilmore Girls. And I introduced you to my husband, and then we became sort of friends, right? And then we sort of, through Instagram, you saw that I was giving this class, and I couldn't believe it. It's like, how long does it take you to get down to class?
About 4 hours.
Yes, 4 hours. And that's a long journey.
Yes.
And
Yes, it is.
also, you just make it work for you. You're amazing, like where you stay, and it's fantastic. I feel very honored to have you in class. So Shannon brought down something that we recently worked on, which was we had asked Legion Paper for their sample packets because we were starting our experiment in different substrates. And they make packets of different watercolor papers, different printing papers, metallic papers. Also, you can get all sorts of papers. And what Shannon did was quite remarkable because she used 3 of these papers in a single piece of art. And you can really see the difference, the warm glow. You can see the stark. May I?
Please.
You're going to have to bring those up too before you go. But here we have this stark white. And what it really does is it gives you a colder effect. And this is, over here we have a warm piece of paper. I don't know the exact names, but the warmth, you can see it makes it softer. It glows in a certain warm way. And here we have this beautiful translucent, it's rice paper? Is it rice paper?
I think so. That was the Japanese.
And this gives it a wonderful ethereal look. So we have hard and present, warm, and something that's a little shy and receding. This is a perfect example of how the substrate really, really speaks. And also, she just used graphite, so this is pretty amazing. Mm-hmm. And before we run out of time, I just want to show this beautiful silver point. The silver point, so this is just a watercolor paper that is has a layer of gesso on it, so that we can pick up the sort of the silver of our nibs, and then we color it. But it's such a beautiful, beautiful process, and it's one that Leonardo da Vinci used himself. And this is a beautiful example of milkweed. Ginny did a marvelous job.
Yes.
Milkweed's
Thank you.
very hard to do.
Yeah.
And let me say, so I love this little apple. I love this guy too, the whirligig, but I love this apple. Show me the orientation, yes. So one of the things about Diane's work, which is she has all these warm and cool colors, and also she did with just her color pencils, these color pencils. So here we are, we have the ethereal leaf that's here and there. Then we have the cool leaf that's, I'm bold. And then we have the apple that's warmth that gives the fruit. It is such a beautiful piece, and it's flying through the air, and how she used the negative space is amazing. So one of my favorite pieces.
Yeah.
Thank you. So we're coming to the end of our journey here, and I can't thank you enough for joining me and supporting me for everything that you've done.
Back at you.
Back at you.
Yeah. I love taking this journey with you guys. Thank you so much, and I hope for more. And
We're lifers.
Yeah, we're like.
yay!
Yes. See you in January.
See you in January, where we're going to do cyanotypes, which I'll just show you quickly. One where here's one that is a cyanotype of a little weed, and then I placed over it, I drew on sort of acetate film, and I put one of my fairies that blocks out the light, and so I was able to come in with paint and paint my fairy, and then I wanted to leave the negative space and just add a little bit of gold to it, threads, because I love things that are threaded. Here, there, so betwixt and between,
Yes.
which cyanotypes lend itself to, as you can see in this one, as we fade out, which is waiting to be done. Thank you. I think we're done, right?
Thanks.
Yes.
Thank you.